I know that I made a lot of coaching mistakes when I first started out as a wellness practitioner. I hate to admit it because I always strive to do the best for my own clients, and I know you do the same for yours. But the reality is that most functional training programs don't equip practitioners on how to actually coach. Rather, they're teaching how to interpret labs, how to create protocols, and what stress management techniques or diets to tell your clients to follow. And this is great information to know, but this isn't what facilitates true transformation. And this is why we include transformational coaching how-tos as part of our training programs. And while unfortunately there's probably a lot of mistakes that coaches and practitioners are making, today's video is about helping you not to make these 10. So let's get started. Hi there, I'm Sarah Korzeniewski, registered dietitian, functional medicine practitioner, transformational coach, founder of The Organic Dietitian, and collaborating business partner with Jen here at Wellness Code Academy. So when it comes to becoming a dynamic and highly effective coach, coaching behaviors are not enough. So what do I mean by that? I mean telling people what to do. Telling them to meditate, telling them to do breath work, telling them to eat more whole foods, telling them to go to bed early, telling them to clean up their beauty products, telling them to do detoxes, telling them what supplements to take. You get the idea, right? Now, these things can definitely be important. However, when we are only coaching these behaviors, we often see limited change, if we even see change at all, and those changes often end up being temporary. So why might that be? Because ultimately it's people's underlying beliefs and ways of being that drive their behaviors. So we need to go much more deeper than looking at the behaviors themselves and start learning how to effectively coach their beliefs and ways of being in order for these behaviors to shift for the long term so that clients can see better success and more long-term success. Because all of our actions emerge from our beliefs, whether we're conscious of them or not. And oftentimes these beliefs are taking place in the unconscious realm. Unless coaches address beliefs, we often only see superficial and unsustainable change. The majority of our unhealthy behaviors are ultimately an effort to meet core human needs or preserve them. So transformational coaches learn how to use an expansive set of strategies to create the conditions for meeting core human needs. Creating conditions in which people can solve some of their own problems and get some of their own needs met. It is this approach to healing that is truly holistic and human-centered and addresses the three domains of who we are: what we think, how we feel, and what we do. This is the key to transformation. A good coach's job is to help clients feel empowered to explore their situation, tap into their inner insight and wisdom, and make intentional choices. This co-creative approach to working with clients meets the core human need of autonomy. And autonomy is having a sense of control, being able to make our own choices, having agency, which is also a key piece of healing from trauma, which is often a big root cause of all chronic health conditions. So without further delay, let's dive into just a few coaching mistakes not to make so that you can become a more dynamic and effective practitioner, helping your clients like no one else can. Mistake number 1, projecting things that you don't like about yourself onto those that you coach. So let's say, for example, you get really frustrated with your client, and yet you interpret that as them being frustrated with you, or so you think. But really, it's your own internal stuff going on that hasn't been resolved and not your clients. This is why it's actually really important for us as dynamic transformational coaches to also be working on our own selves. Number 2, there is no true compassion without self-compassion. So imagine coaching a client to help them recognize that making mistakes is really part of the healing journey and part of being human. But yet, you yourself, when you feel that you make your own mistakes, you berate yourself. So if you can't accept the fact that you make mistakes, you can't really accept that others do too. Number 3, many coaches make the mistake of over-promising in an effort to appear helpful. So promising that they're going to solve all of their digestive issues within 90 days is really just your effort to appear helpful. Number 4, not doing what you say you'll do. So if you tell a client you're going to do something and you don't do it, that is a huge mistake, and all trust is going to be lost and healing won't be able to take place. Number 5, you don't walk your talk. So if you're trying to coach a client on following some sort of elimination diet, but yet you still continue to eat a lot of highly inflammatory for you foods, or you struggle to follow your own way of eating in an effort to support your own digestive health or your overall health, then that does not make a good recipe for being an effective, dynamic, transformational coach. Number 6, being in fix-it mode. And this is a huge one, and I am guilty of this in the past myself. So if you want to fix someone or think that you have their answers, you'll show up as believing that you have more knowledge, insight, and understanding of your client than they do. So leaping into fix it won't alleviate their suffering in the moment. It won't empower the person to deal with the subsequent challenges. And it's also exhausting to do if you're showing up as the fixer, because no one else can fix or heal us. We must have our own agency, step into our power, take responsibility, and make changes on our own. Health coaches and transformational coaches can only be mentors and facilitators on your client's journey to become their own best self-healers. Next up, asking fake questions. So this is when you encourage an answer by including the suggested response within the question. So that might be something like, don't you think you should go to bed early? This also chips away at trust. And again, if we don't have good trust within a coach-practitioner relationship, healing cannot happen. Next up, along those same lines, when you give people answers, even if you think that they're good ones, you take ownership of their problem and you block them from their agency, which again is a necessary component of healing, in particularly from trauma. So this ultimately undermines the very purpose of transformational coaching. Next up, not asking the client's permission before giving them advice. And keep in mind, if they respond to your advice with a yes, but, they're not open to hearing what you have to offer. And lastly, another huge mistake that we see coaches make is allowing their people pleasing, which is a trauma response, to show up in their work with clients. So this is telling them what they want to hear or telling them what you think that they want to hear, instead of being compassionately open and honest with them and having conversations that they need to hear in order to transform, take back their health, and get their desired results. Avoiding honest conversations for the sake of your own comfort is not being a good dynamic transformational coach, and it is not doing your clients any favors, because ultimately when it comes to healing, change is going to be required. And it is human nature to resist change, to seek out the path of least resistance and want to do what's easy. So a really good dynamic transformational coach has the skills to deliver hard to hear information in a very compassionate way and co-create action steps with clients so that they can actually make changes to get their desired outcomes. So there you have it, 10 coaching mistakes not to make. And many of these might have been hard for you to hear, and that is completely understandable. You might now see that you're making some or maybe all of these mistakes yourself, and I was in that same boat. So this video isn't meant to shame you, but rather to help you cultivate more awareness so that you can learn, change, and grow, not just for yourself, but also for your clients and for the success of your business. No career is exempt from continuing education and professional development. In fact, it takes 10,000 hours of practicing something to get really good at, in particular something like becoming a good transformational coach. So what can you do to further your coaching skills and improve your client outcomes and the success of your own business? Sign up for our free on-demand masterclass. It's called How to Help Clients Create Breakthrough Healing and Transform Your Coaching Biz Without Feeling Like You're Missing Critical Pieces of the Wellness Puzzle. And inside, you'll discover how you can learn to use hair tissue mineral analysis, or HTMA, as a roadmap to help heal from chronic health challenges of all kinds through the lens of trauma, psychoneuroimmunology, and transformational coaching. You can find the links below, and we'll see you there.